Hey everybody, welcome back to Durbin's Bourbon. I'm Joe.
And I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
Yeah, it's the 3 J's.
Oh man, J.
I was going to say J squared, J cubed.
Yeah. This is a blind. We know how y'all love blinds. This is a special blind. Blanton's. Everybody loves Blanton's. Everybody's after Blanton's.
Jake got a Blanton Gold and is deciding to share it with us.
Yes.
So that's why he's here.
What better way to do a blind than have these two compared? We don't know. Blake, he's going to pour it for us. Jake's going to pour. We're going to step out of the room. One is a higher proof, same mash bill, and one is a standard 93 proof. The gold is 103 proof, and standard is 93 proof, if I remember correctly.
They're both single barrel.
Yep, 93 proof.
Yeah, 103.
They're both coming out of warehouse age.
Is that the only difference?
A smaller bottle. That is, yep, look at that. It's a 700 milliliter.
Ripped off.
And because
I'm already angry.
Make me feel good about my purchase.
the reason for that is originally Blanton's Gold was only an export whiskey, correct? And so overseas they are 700 milliliters US. We like
sense.
Mo, so ours are 750. So the bottles that they make are all 700 milliliters because they still ship them outside. 3 years ago, Blanton's decided, or Buffalo Trace, decided to make a 1-year release per year of the Blanton's Gold for U.S. consumers as well. And that has just happened within the last couple years.
How much
One release per year.
50?
It is, if you're going to go manufacturer's suggested retail, it's twice as much as your standard manufacturer's suggested retail for Blanton's. Blanton's suggested retail is 62. This is 120. If you go secondary, you're going to pay 200, 300, 400 as you would. I've seen Blanton's on the secondary market for 300 as well. So you're going to pay an even higher amount for the gold.
So that's kind of why we're doing the blind, to see if it's even worth, like, why get the gold if...
Right.
And they're single barrels, so... I mean, it's hard to compare the two because every barrel is going to be different in a way, but it'll be interesting to see if it's that much better for twice the price and less alcohol or less volume. Right.
Does the alcohol proof make a big enough change in the whiskey that makes it worthwhile? Because we've discovered that in Maker's Mark with the Maker's 101 as opposed to standard Makers. So stand by.
Right. Jake's going to pour these.
Yep, we're going to step offline. He's going to pour for us, and then we'll be right back.
All right. We'll start with the regular blends. Let's pour that right here. There we go. And then we'll do the gold. And this one. There we go. All right, let the guys come back in and see if they can tell what's what. Joe, Josh?
All
right, and we're back.
2 and 2.
So, Jake has poured for us. As you all know, we go 1 and 2 for the glasses. We explained that to Jake. So, let's go in for a nose.
I'm going to go back through. Oh, that smells like cigars.
Oh, I was going to say, why are you smelling your arm?
Oh, because it cleanses my nose palate.
Right.
That's what it's called?
Your nose, yeah.
Nose
if you smell your skin, it neutralizes your nose, and it can bring you back. It's a reset. So you go back like coffee beans and perfume shops. good, typical Blanton's nose.
Yeah.
Good color. They're going to be similar color. Age profile's going to be similar.
I feel like my number 2, I like the nose better, but they're so similar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's... Oh, let's see. Where's that alcohol?
I'm not getting any more alcohol on either one, so I'm going to go with... I get a little more on my number 2. I get a little more... Well, maybe not. They're like identical.
I'm getting...
My number two, I'm getting a little bit more floral, if that makes sense. I don't usually get that with bourbon, but maybe because they're both bourbons, they're a little different. There's a little difference.
I was going to say my number 2.
But the rest
is it has a little, and they're single barrels, not the same barrel,
right.
Obviously. So number 2 for me stands apart from number 1. They're obviously different. I'm trying to differentiate which one has the higher alcohol content, which one I can tell, and that's really where we're kind of dissecting the whiskey, because it is the same mash bill.
Oh.
It's a high rye mash bill.
I'm gonna say on nose, I like my number 2, whichever one that is. I would if I'm just like splitting hairs really, because they're so close, but this one's got a little more. I want to say like aroma, if that makes sense. A little more fragrance to it.
Boy, really? I get more floral on number 1.
Yeah. I'm ready to try it.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I think I get more floral notes and more pleasant nose aromas on number 1.
Okay, and same with mine for number 2. Ready to try it?
Are we going for number 1? All right.
1, even though they might not be the same.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, Jake.
Cheers.
Forgot you were back there.
That's a little hotter. To be fair, we did just have a Canadian. We did a review for y'all for Canadian 20 year, and it was smooth, 80 proof.
That is, to me,
that's a good flavor.
Yeah, that's
your number 1.
Buttery
really
and caramely.
Yeah, mine is too. Behind us, Jake is drinking Johnny Walker Blue.
Yeah. He's really gone down the rabbit hole buying expensive whiskey.
He is. Yeah, he just picked that up for y'all out there. Johnny Walker Blue is running around between $2 and $2.50 a bottle. It is a fantastic scotch. I like that. Number 1, I love it. I mean, we're both fans of Blanton's. It's just...
You can't go wrong with it. All right, I'm going for my number 2.
Oh, that number 1's a little spicy. Okay.
My number 2 has a lot of the same characteristics as the nose for the palate.
Really? So it matches?
Yeah.
And your number 1 didn't?
No, my number 1 it did, but this was the one I had a little more floral, a little more
right.
Nuance to it.
And I had floral on number 1.
I don't get floral on the palate, but this one has a lot of caramel, vanilla.
I've got vanilla and caramel.
Yeah, I think my number 2. It's more. It's like it's got all the bourbons. It's caramel, vanilla, a little bit of butterscotch, a little bit of brown sugar, a little charred marshmallow, like
that toasted marshmallow.
Yeah, toasted marshmallow. They both do, but this one has. It's more. I think I think. If I went out on a limb, I'd say I think my number 1 is the gold label because it feels hotter.
Your number 1?
Yeah, my number 1. And I would think my number 2 is just regular Blanton's, but who knows?
I'm leaning.
But I do, hands down, my number 2, not hands down, but my number 2 is slightly better than my number one for me.
Huh.
It's more mellow. It's more caramely. It's more buttery. That one's got a little bit of a harshness to it.
Boy, that's tough.
And if that one is the higher proof, then that just means it's better. They're so similar, though.
Yeah, it's hard. We're splitting hairs.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel...
I'm starting to sweat.
I know. For me, I feel like my number one has a little bit more burn to it. They're both... The profile is almost identical.
Correct.
You're just like...
We're just really trying to...
Yeah, you're...
I think the heat on my number one... might not be alcohol heat. Maybe it's just
could be
peppery rye heat.
Right.
But I feel like my number two has just got a little bit mellower. It's still got the good bourbon punch to it,
right?
But it's more rounded almost. It's got it's got better mouthfeel. It's
boy, that's tough.
I know they're so similar.
When you've got the same whiskey,
right?
And you're just what's the difference in proof points? 93 to 101.
Yeah, it's not that much hotter. Yeah, it's not that much hotter. I just feel. I'll just say so. My favorite is my number two, and if I'm guessing, I would guess that my number two is regular Blanton's, and my number one is the gold because I've never had the gold.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way because I feel like this is hotter. This is hotter. But the profile's the same, but the finish is a little smoother on the
My number two is just all around a little smoother, slightly. I'm gonna try one more time. This is too close.
You're not making me feel good about the extra money you spent.
There's a little more rye kick on number one.
Same. A little more pepper.
Yes.
That could just be the heat of the alcohol.
It
could.
It could.
It's hard because I'm looking at the bottles and I'm like, I mean, there's the same color.
Yeah.
Same age.
I'm not changing.
Yeah. So
whatever it is. I mean,
right.
I'm gonna go with that.
Should we do like I said, I think my number two is regular Blanton's, and I like it better. And I think my number one is the gold, and I like it slightly less. Slightly.
I feel the same way.
Okay. You want to reveal?
You like number one slightly less?
Yeah.
Well, that's good because the gold is number two.
Yes.
For both of them? Holy crap.
All right. There you go.
But I said that was hotter.
Yeah. Same. So whatever the gold, I don't know, that it's good.
And you like number one the most?
No, number two.
Number two. And number two is gold.
Mm-hmm. So we have the same.
I'll be damned. Yeah. I think I thought this was the gold, number one. Because it was hotter.
Yeah, but then that's what we both thought. We both thought number one was gold, but number two is gold.
So we were wrong.
Correct.
But our palate enjoyed the higher proof more.
The more expensive one, because we're very sophisticated
idiots.
Drinkers.
So.
Anyways, there you have it. So the gold is worth it.
The gold is.
Well, I don't know. It's twice as much, though.
I know. You're getting less for more money and a slightly more refined palate.
I agree.
So, really, if you can find a regular Blanton's, get it. If you can find a gold and you got the coin, grab it because it is unique. It is a smaller bottle.
And obviously, like the gold horse,
right.
you can have the whole new collection.
Yeah. You could start a whole new collection, which would be how much? The $50,000 to do a stave. But if you can get them at suggested retail, like Josh and I always say, if you can get your whiskey at manufacturer's suggested retail, try to do that. Right. A lot of us are guilty of paying markups, myself included.
Me.
I have paid. I paid $225 a bottle for Weller 12 because it's my favorite bourbon and I'm not going to run out. So we're all guilty of it. It's a shame that that's what exists in the bourbon community. Maybe someday it will be better. But until then,
there's plenty of good ones that you don't have to buy.
There's so many great whiskeys.
But it is fun if you have the money to get something like the gold. Like you'll have this gold now. Right. And like people are like, oh shit, you got Blanton's gold. You got gold.
Yeah, that's unseen. It's a release one time per year for the entire United States. So Jake scoring one of these, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
it pays to have bourbon friends.
Yeah, let us try
that
their
are
stuff.
willing to do reviews and bring us a bottle and pour a healthy pour.
Yeah. Thank you for that pour.
So thank
I just saw him outside. I was like, man, I hope he fills that thing up.
I know he did, actually. It was pretty funny. There you go, folks.
Yep.
I'll edit this a little bit and try and chop it so it's not quite so long, but you all know
have to tell
blinds
them that.
tend to
They're
go.
not going to know any better.
They go long. They do. Thank you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thanks, Jake. That was,
Bringing
yeah.
this.
And the other one, you did the Pendleton
Oh, man.
20-year.
Yeah. The
We
man
appreciate
is,
it. Yes.
He's going down the rabbit
Yeah, it's
hole
bad.
we've talked about.
Don't
so.
forget about the Australians.
Oh,
Oh yeah, the Star.
Yeah.
What Star?
Starward.
Starward.
Yeah.
I still
Which
have the
we've-
2 little bottles at my
Right.
house.
Which we've done reviews.
Yeah.
Y'all have seen
It's
out
super
there.
good.
He's rapidly approaching to have a wall like this.
Yes. Under his bed, though.
I see. Yeah, I
tell
see
the
it. I see it. We appreciate everybody out there that have been subscribers for a long time. We love you guys and gals out there. You've been great.
Thanks for all the suggestions too. We
Yeah.
asked, and you guys came through
Yep.
with a lot. So
I got another amazing suggestion from a friend. He posted and said, "Why don't you guys do a bottle and bond blind or a bottle and bond shootout of what's the best because they're all the same
we
proof."
did that, didn't we?
I
We've
don't
done
know.
that. Yeah, we've
'Cause
done
he's like,
that.
"It'd go good with your tattoo, Joe." I'm like, "Well, that's cool." Show the
We've
old
done that.
times.
We could do it again though.
Yeah.
There's more. There's newer
more.
bottled in bond. Like I have that Heaven
You
Hill
just
now.
got- yeah, and he just got it too because
Oh.
he sent me a picture.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, you should do this."
We
I'm
could
like,
do like a big lineup of those.
Yeah, all across the whole
just
thing. Just get smashed.
wasted.
We vomit on the
You vomit. I
mic.
don't vomit.
Yeah, you don't. But anyway, we appreciate Jake
Yes.
sharing his whiskey with us. He's a good friend. We appreciate it. And we'll wrap this video up. Leave your comments. Subscribe, please. And every Saturday, new videos come out. As always, enjoy your whiskeys and bourbons.
Anyway, you like.
Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers, pal.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm.